Welcome back to Reflections with Emrys. Let's take a moment to see what each symbol has to offer today. Today's symbols are the goose, the rune, Mannaz, and the Quert, also known as the apple. The goose is a symbol of loyalty, navigation, and the courage to move as the season changes. At its core, the goose understands direction. It carries the wisdom of migration, which is not escape, but instinct aligned with timing. It also symbolizes guardianship, because a goose does not pretend it is alone when it needs protection, and it does not stay silent when something matters. The goose reminds you that devotion can be strong without becoming rigid, and it teaches that the path forward is often found by listening for what feels true in your body, not just what sounds logical in your mind. In life, the goose may show up when you are crossing a threshold, especially one that requires consistency rather than intensity. It can appear when you are learning to protect your energy, your time, or your relationships with clearer boundaries. You might notice it when you are called to lead, even in small ways, like setting a tone in a room or holding a line you used to abandon. It often arrives when you are being asked to trust your internal compass, even if the destination is not fully visible yet. And it can reflect moments when community matters, where you do better with support than with isolation. Its reflection is this: let your loyalty be a choice, not a habit. Let your voice be a signal, not an apology. Let your next step be guided by what steadies you, not what pressures you. If you are meant to move, move with purpose. Mannaz is a rune of humanity, self-awareness, and the steady shaping of identity through relationship. At its core, Mannaz speaks to the human mind and the human heart working together. It symbolizes the self not as a fixed thing, but as a living pattern you can refine. It also carries the idea of mirrors, the way other people reveal you to yourself, for better or worse. Mannaz reminds you that wisdom grows through reflection, not perfection. And it teaches that being fully yourself includes being honest about what you are still learning. In life, Mannaz may show up when you are reevaluating who you are in a role, a relationship, or a responsibility. It can appear when you are noticing old stories about yourself and realizing they are not facts, just familiar. You may be asked to slow down and observe your reactions, because your reactions are giving you information. It often arrives when connection is a teacher, when someone is helping you see a blind spot, or when you are learning to communicate with more clarity. And it can point to the power of choosing maturity over impulse, even when your feelings are loud. Its reflection is this: you are allowed to evolve without defending every version of yourself. You are allowed to learn without shaming what you did not know before. Let your identity be something you tend, like a craft. The more honestly you see yourself, the more gently you can grow. Quert is an ohm of nourishment, heart-centered choice, and the sweetness that comes from patience and care. At its core, the apple holds a quiet kind of abundance. It symbolizes what ripens over time, what becomes ready through consistency rather than forcing. It also carries the energy of the heart, the place where desire and discernment meet. Quert reminds you that what feeds you is not always what excites you, and what is truly good often feels simple. And it teaches that pleasure can be sacred when it is aligned with well-being. In life, Quert may show up when you are being asked to choose what is truly nourishing, not just what is convenient. It can appear when you are rebuilding your relationship with rest, pleasure, or self-rest. You might be noticing where you have been living on scraps, emotionally or spiritually, and this symbol gently invites you to eat from a fuller table. It often arrives when you are cultivating something that will take time, like healing, stability, or a new way of relating. And it can also signal a return to what is heartfelt, where you remember what you actually value beneath the noise. Its reflection is this: let yourself receive what is good without suspicion. Let patience be part of your devotion to yourself. Choose what strengthens your heart, even if it is not the fastest option. What ripens slowly often lasts. When we look at these three symbols together, a clear theme begins to form. The goose brings loyal movement and clear signals. Mannaz brings self-awareness and honest reflection. Quert brings nourishment and heart-led choice. Together, they suggest a season of intentional change, guided by what you know about yourself now. You may be moving into a new chapter, but the invitation is to move in a way that honors your needs and your values, not just your obligations. The goose encourages you to travel with integrity, to protect what matters, and to trust your timing. Mannaz asks you to be honest about who you are becoming, and to let your relationships and reflections refine you. Quert reminds you to choose what sustains you, so the next path is not only brave, but healthy. The Goose encourages you to speak and move with purpose. Mannaz invites you to know yourself clearly. Quert reminds you to choose what truly nourishes. The mood here is steady, warm, and quietly determined. It feels like a decision made without drama, but with deep sincerity. This combination suggests that your next progress will come from alignment, not pressure, and from care, not overextension. It also teaches that growth is not only about pushing forward, it is about feeding the parts of you that will have to live in the future you are building. Today's reflection is this: move with loyalty to your true self, let honest reflection guide your choices, and choose what nourishes you enough to keep going. Thank you for joining me. I'll meet you in the next reflection.